This is the Tree of Life, Season 17, Chapter 2. In this episode, we will be talking about context exclusion as the mechanism of substitutionary reshuffling in interactions with a self-conscious subject. Now, in past episodes, we talked about how in self-consciousness, that is, when the attention is fixed on a bodily rhythm or cycle, it manifests as negation, representing the conversion of a digital structure to an analog one. We also talked about how when the attention is fixed on some object in the environment, it represents the conversion of an analog structure to a digital one, representing a choice. In this episode, I would like to talk about an interaction between two people, as the manifestation of an interaction between two self-conscious subjects. In the last episode, we introduced the concept of context exclusion, which through sequential analog structures produces a continuum between non-exclusivity, represented by a purely analog structure, and exclusivity, represented by a digital one. Now, when there is self-consciousness relative to some self-conscious subject, the result is the formation of digital structures, which represent a banking, or a deficit of self-consciousness relative to that self-conscious subject. That is to say, that as between those two people, for person A, their impulses form within digital structures relative to that self-conscious subject. Digital structures are polar, that is, the states of negation and affirmation for each impulse are distinguished by self-consciousness and attention on an object. That is, digital structures preserve self-consciousness relative to one impulse over the other. Now, in the interaction between two individuals, this deficit of self-consciousness enables the transformation of these digital structures to analog ones. In the cycling of the attention between some self-conscious subject and a bodily rhythm or cycle, through sequential analog structures, the particular selection of which impulses are substitutionary within a given analog structure occurs through context exclusion. That is to say, that the shifting of the attention between the bodily rhythm or cycle and some attentional object, which is a self-conscious subject, there is a reshuffling of which impulses are substitutionary within the analog structures so created. This reshuffling of substitutionary impulses enables the filtering out of what particular impulses possess a negational valence. This filtering process occurs through the sequential linking of context through linked analog structures in a sequence, which generate a particular dialogue arising out of these contextual spaces. The linking of contextual spaces produces exclusion of particular associations in a sequential fashion distinct from the manner by which digital structures do. In plainer terms, the self-conscious deficit created by an overabundance of digital structures relative to some self-conscious subject enables the filtering and reshuffling of analog structures. This reshuffling shifts which impulses are substitutionary, thereby eliminating a negational valence as between parallel digital and analog structures in a sequence for particular impulses. This process tends to expose the more fundamental impulses which underlie larger structures to affirmation. That's the end of the podcast for today.